I'm Pam, 23 years old, and am living happily with my beloved husband. But my childhood was filled with hardships because of my parents and sister. When my sister Hannah was in elementary school, her teacher suggested that my parents have her take an IQ test because she was excelling beyond other students. And it turned out she had an IQ of 140. My parents praised her, calling her a genius, and I also celebrated her achievement. But from that moment on, my life turned into a nightmare. My parents adored her and started ignoring me, calling me a shame and mediocre. My dad graduated from a prestigious private university, and my mom took great pride in his accomplishments. They must have believed that I was unworthy of their love and they only needed Hannah. So for her birthday, they would buy her game consoles and expensive electric bicycles while I got nothing, not even a cake. On top of that, they would call her by her name, but I was called you or yo or hey. Influenced by them, Hannah also began to insult me, calling me a nuisance and a worthless person. And also, when I handed my parents a notice from school about a parent-teacher conference. Huh? Why on earth do I need to waste my time and go to that? Honey, can you take a day off from work and go instead? Please?
What? Why me? I'd rather go meet an infuriating client or deal with endless paperwork than attend.
How rude. How about going to the amusement park that day? It'll be less crowded since it's a weekday. Around this time, Hannah began skipping school frequently because my parents thought she didn't need it since she's a genius. That sounds great! Let's go!
Yeah, I'll ask my boss if I can take a day off.
Yes, thank you. I want to wear a costume. Can you buy me a costume and some accessories? I also want to get my hair done. Of course, I'll do and buy anything for you, sweetie.
But promise you'll get into a good company in the future and support us, okay?
Okay, I'll promise. Unlike that, I'm a genius. I can be whatever I want to be. Looking back now as an adult, I realized they were completely awful, but back then, I was still a child and wanted to believe that they loved me, despite everything. Then, when I was in 7th grade, one day when I came home from school, my mom was chatting with a woman whom I've never seen before, and she's the manager of the inn where you'll work after graduating from middle school. My friend introduced her to me. What work? Wait, I told you and Dad many times that I want to go to high school. Please. Even if you go to high school, you'll never be able to get into a university like Hannah, so it's a waste of money and time. Start working and repay us for raising you. No, it's not right to decide something like that without asking. I yelled with tears in my eyes. Then the manager got pissed and left since she thought I was willing to work there. After that, my mom scolded me, saying, "What were you thinking, seriously?" And I was so distressed. I just had to tell my friend about what happened that day, and all the things my parents and sister had done to me in the past. Then my friend's mother came to my house and told my parents, "If you keep mistreating Pam, I'll contact child service." Fearing being reported, my parents finally allowed me to take the high school entrance exam. However, an even worse situation awaited the day of my middle school graduation. That night, while I was relaxing in my room, my mom suddenly came in and, "You, come here!" Huh? Why? What is it? Then she grabbed my arm firmly, which hurt bad, and dragged me to the entrance. What is happening? Hello, Pam. A woman I had never seen before was standing there, with my dad and Hannah also present. It's been a long time since we last met, so you might not remember me. I'm Mary, your aunt. At that moment, memories from my childhood rekindled. Right, this woman is my mom's older sister, Aunt Mary. I hadn't seen her since I was about 3 or 4 during New Year's at my maternal grandparents' house. Why is she here now? As I stood there, puzzled, my mom let go of my arm, went behind me, and then roughly pushed me forward right in front of her. Don't treat her terribly like that. Shut up! Don't you dare talk down to me, you loser with a worthless husband. Graduated from a third-rate university. Such an embarrassment. Ugh. I cut ties with you because you insulted him so much, and now, after 10 years, you contacted me to say you want me to take care of Pam? You are out of your mind. What? You're going to give me away to her? Yep, you'll be living with Mary from today, so get the hell out of here. What? Someone mediocre like you doesn't belong in our elite family. Mary's household is like that, so it would be perfect for you. Start packing. Are you serious? I collapsed on the spot from shock. This is too cruel. This is too much for me to bear. That moment, tears streamed down my cheeks. Why are you crying? Don't you know you're a nuisance to us? Get out!
Yeah, exactly. Having you around would be a really bad influence on Hannah.
My heart felt like it had been torn to shreds. Then at that moment, how dare you talk to her like that? She then came up to me, hugged me, and comforted me. Come live with me, Pam. I can't leave you with these 3 devils here. I don't want you to suffer any more. And so I decided to pack my things and go to Aunt Mary's house because there was nowhere else to go. She lived in an old apartment with her husband, Uncle Henry. Compared to the house I had been living in, it was small and old, but they both showered me with love, healing my wounded heart and depression, so it didn't matter at all. They filled my days with smiles and affection, bringing me happiness I hadn't felt in a long time. I hated my parents and Hannah, and I thought, I can't let those horrible people get away with this. I'm going to seek revenge. So it was the best feeling when those 3 cried to beg for my forgiveness. After graduating high school, I decided to help Uncle Henry since he started a small company. This was the reason why they lived in that small and old apartment. It was to save money for this. Driven by a desire to repay both of them, I worked hard every day. Then one day, is that? When I was standing in front of the major company, Panacore Trading, I coincidentally saw my parents and Hannah in a suit, whom I hadn't seen in years. The 3 of them were walking toward me, talking loudly. I got this. I'm going to become an employee and marry the handsome CEO, Mr. Rye. I know you'll get a job offer since you're attending a prestigious private university now, and because we raised you with so much love and care. If you get married, which I know you will, our family will become more elite.
We spent so much, but it was worth it. If you become the CEO's wife, our future will surely be in good hands.
Then at that moment, a black luxury car stopped in front of me, and someone came out from the back seat. Is that Mr. Rye? Yes, it was Mr. Rye, CEO of Panacore Trading. Then Hannah, Hello, Mr. Rye, said that and approached him, but...
Hey, Pam!
What?
What?
What are you... My parents and Hannah let out goofy voices when they saw me. They probably didn't understand why I'm here now. It also must be confusing why Mr. Rye called me as if he knows me well. Then the next moment, I realized something. I now hold the card to shock them. Ha! Long time no see, Hannah. What do you want with my beloved fiancé? When I said that, all of them screamed, What? My uncle's company has Panacore Trading as its main client. Through work, he and I met frequently, and eventually we got together. We're now engaged and living together. What? You're Mr. Ray's fiancé? Are you serious?
That mediocre, shameful loser? No way! Pam? Who are they?
Oh, my real parents and sister. Remember I told you before about the terrible things they did to me? Yeah?
So it's you guys, huh?
God, why is a worthless loser like you his fiancé? Are you frickin' kidding me? She stomped her feet in frustration as my parents exchanged looks of disbelief.
Pam's a worthless loser?
Hearing Hannah's words, he who was next to me muttered that quietly. It seems like neither my parents nor Hannah could hear his voice. Then I said, Here, I brought you your lunch. I knew you'd forget it since you were rushing to get ready this morning after oversleeping. I made it with lots of love. When I handed him the lunchbox, grinning at Hannah, Gah! She then snatched it from him, slammed it to the ground, and even stomped on it. Mr. Rye, I am much better than her. A worthless loser like her doesn't match with someone elite like you. I'm a genius with an IQ of 140, and am attending a prestigious university now. An elite man should...
How dare you ruin my beloved Pam's lunch!
Eek! He suddenly turned red with anger, causing Hannah to collapse on the spot in shock.
Excuse me. So what if you're attending a prestigious university or have an IQ of 140? I love Pam! You can't measure a person's worth or charm by only those. Besides, someone who snatches and stomps on a homemade lunch has no human decency at all.
I'm sorry.
You two, you were okay with your daughter acting like this all along? As a family, you're the lowest of the low.
Lowest of the low?
What? Lowest? Us?
Then I said, Honey, it looks like Hannah's going to have an interview here in a few minutes. Hearing that,
I see. Rejected. Please, Leave, right now.
What? No, why? Please, Mr. Rye, please.
Can you please at least let her have the interview?
The three of them clung to his legs and begged, but his bodyguard got out of the luxury car and stopped them. While the bodyguard held them back, he and I quickly walked to a nearby restaurant for lunch. And then, a few months later, I got a call from a public phone, and when I answered it, "Hello, Pam? Please help us, Pam. I got your number from one of your classmates from middle school, but it seems like Mr. Rye talked about me to the higher-ups in various companies, and now no company will let me have an interview."
He also talked to my company's CEO. Rumors spread that I angered Mr. Rye, and I started being looked at coldly, making me uncomfortable. So I resigned.
Yes, he asked me where my dad worked, so I told him. The CEO of my dad's company heard everything about what my dad did to me in the past. And I heard the CEO was quite taken aback. So he ended up resigning, huh? "We have so much debt because of Hannah, and there's no way we can live like this. Dad works in traffic control, and Hannah tried working part-time, but she kept on getting fired due to bad relationships with colleagues. I also work part-time, but having been a housewife for so long, working outside is really tough. Please, Pam, help us." "I'm so sorry for everything."
Please help us! We're a family!
Then I said one word. "Goodbye." "Hey, wait, Pam!" I hung up the phone without hesitation and blocked calls from public phones. After that, Hannah kept getting fired from part-time jobs and realized that having a high IQ alone wasn't enough. Being shocked, she locked herself in her room. Her parents were so angry that they kicked her out, saying, "What the hell? We had high hopes for your future and borrowed money." Then, wandering the streets, she was approached by a man and followed him, only to be involved in fraud. A few weeks later, she was arrested by the police and sent to prison. Now she spends her days crying behind bars. Her parents blamed each other for Hannah's downfall and ended up divorcing, but both had significant amounts of debt, and now they each work in harsh conditions in different regions, dealing with loan sharks. Her father, who struggled with physical labor, and her mother, who had barely worked outside, are mentally drained, being yelled at constantly every day. Serves them right. As for me, I got married and now live happily in a new, large house with him, along with my aunt and uncle. Every day is wonderful. Just the other day, when the four of us were having dinner, "I'm so happy that you married to such a wonderful, caring young man, Pam. Oh, and thank you so much for your support, Mr. Rye. Thanks to you, our company is doing well."
No problem. Your company's trustworthy. Plus, you two are the parents of my beloved Pam.
Exactly. My parents are you two, Aunt Mary and Uncle Henry. I'm happy because you two were there for me. Thank you. No, thank you. We owe so much to you. Thanks to your hard work and dedication, my husband's company's performance has been steadily improving. I love all of you. Let's keep living happily as a family, making amazing memories together.
Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!